Hmm. Yes, I get it. No, I mean, I totally get it when you say that long division of polynomials is difficult. And I know the reason why it's difficult. And the reason is that maybe you have never seen a video and probably will never see such a video where it relates it to the things that you're already used to doing. I mean, come on, it's like saying making coffee is more difficult than making tea, is it? Well, instead of tea, you just have to add the coffee. The rest of the process remains the same. Here also in division of polynomials, it is similar to long division of numbers. Only some minute changes are there, and that is what I'm going to explain in this video. And yes, there are a little bit of minute differences between the two, and that is why I recommend that you stay till the end of the video, because in the end I'm going to reveal it all. I'm going to do 4 different types of questions in which it will be clear how to long divide polynomials. So if you're ready for it, come on, let's nail it. Okay, so before we actually get into the long division of polynomials, let us understand first the long division of numbers. Let us take a large number, say whatever, maybe 26,474 maybe, and let's divide that by 9. What do we get? So of course, as you can see, 26,474 is the dividend, so we'll write it inside the box, and outside the box we write the divisor, which in this case is 9. So how do we divide it? Well, we take the first digit of the number, which is 2, and divide it by the divisor, which is 9. So how many times does 9 go into 2? Well, 9 times 1 is 9, so it obviously has to go 0 times. So we write 0 in the quotient. Then we multiply the quotient with the divisor. So 0 multiplied by 9 gives us 0. We write 0 beneath the 2 and subtract it from 2. We get the remainder as 2. Then we carry forward the next digit, which is 6. So our new dividend is now 26, and we divide 26 by 9. So 9 goes into 26 2 times. We write 2 in the quotient. Multiply 2 by 9, we get 18. We write 18 below 26, subtract that from 26 to get 8. We bring down the next digit, which happens to be 4. So now the new dividend that we have got is 84, and 84 divided by 9, which was still the original divisor. So we are basically looking for a number which is equal to 84 in the table of 9, or which is below 84. So 9 times 9 is 81. We write 9 in the quotient, multiply 9 in the quotient by 9 in the divisor to get 81, subtract that from 84 to get 3. We bring the next digit down, which is 37. So 9 goes into 37 4 times, 4 goes in the quotient. Then multiply the quotient by the divisor. 4 times 9 gives us 36. Subtract that from 37 to get a remainder of 1, and bring down the last digit, which is 4. So that gives us 14, and 9 goes into 14 one time. So the quotient 1 multiplied by the divisor 9 gives us 9, and we subtract that from 14 and we get 5 as the remainder. So here it's very important to know that the final remainder, which in this case is 5, is less than the divisor. If the remainder is more than the divisor, then that means there is something wrong. It has to be less than the divisor. So we can say that this number on top, 2941, is our quotient and 5 is the remainder. Well, long division of polynomials is very similar, and once you see the similarities that are there between it, you won't ever find a problem to long divide polynomials. So as we go along in the video, I will tell you what the similarities are, and wherever there's a difference, I'll tell you that difference also, so that you don't find a problem. And like I said, you must stay till the end of the video. Give me 10 more minutes and I'll explain to you everything about what you need to know in the long division of polynomials. Just 10 more minutes. So let's look at a question that we have. We have to divide 3 minus x plus x square by 2 minus x. So first of all, let's write what the dividend and divisor is. So since we have to divide 3 minus x plus x square, so that obviously is going to be the dividend. So dividend will be equal to, but here you have to be a little careful. When you are writing polynomials, you have to write it in the decreasing order of the degree of the variables, which means that if it is a quadratic, you write the x square term first, then the x term, then the constant. Or if it's a quartic or a biquadratic, you write x to the power 4 term first, then x cube term, then x square term, then x term, and finally the constant term. So we have to write it in the correct order, not only the divisor but also the dividend. So let's write the dividend in the correct order first. So obviously, like we see here, that the x square term, it is actually 2x square. So we write 2x square first, then we'll write the x term, and here as you see, it is very important to include the sign also. So we will write minus x because x is preceded by a negative sign, so we'll have to write minus x, and then the constant term, and because there's no sign in front of the constant, we will just write plus 3. Whenever there's no sign, it means it's plus. Similarly, we can write the divisor also. Divisor, as you can see, is 2 minus x, but again it has to be written in the decreasing order of the degree of the terms. So we'll write the x term first, and because it is preceded by a negative sign, so we'll write minus x, and then the constant, and since there's no sign before that, that happens to be plus 2. Now we'll follow the same process that we did in the long division of numbers. So we take the dividend, which in this case is 2x square minus x plus 3, put that inside the box, and outside the box we write the dividend, which in this case is minus x plus 2. Okay, here we come to one point of difference between normal division of numbers and the long division of polynomials. The difference is that when we were dividing the number by 9, what we were doing is we were looking at the table of 9 and looking for a number which is either equal to the first number or is less than the first number. Now polynomials have a special case that whatever you take, it always makes it equal to something, so that we don't have to look for anything less than that. We have to look for something which makes it equal to that. Let's understand by looking at the first term here. So the first term in the dividend is 2x square, and we have to divide it by the divisor, which is minus x plus 2. So the second point of difference, here you don't have to look at the complete divisor, you only have to look at the first term in the divisor and the first term in the dividend. So we have got 2x square in the dividend and minus x in the divisor. So basically the quotient is going to be 2x square. If you divide that by minus x, what do you get? So we write 2x square on top, divide that by minus x. So obviously we look at the coefficients first. So 2 divided by minus 1 will give you minus 2, and x square divided by x will give you x. So this minus 2x should come in the quotient. Now let's come back to the division of 9. What were we doing there? Whatever we had written in the quotient, we were taking that and multiplying it by the divisor. So here also we take this quotient minus 2x, and this time we have to multiply it by the complete divisor, which means the multiply it by all the terms of the divisor. So minus 2x times minus x gives us 2x square. Write that below the 2x square. Then you have to multiply this minus 2x by plus 2 also. So minus 2x times 2 gives you minus 4x. Write that beneath the x term. Now coming back to the division of 9, whatever we got by multiplying the quotient and the divisor, we wrote that number below the number that we had taken in the dividend. We subtract it from the dividend. So here also we are going to subtract it, and because it is subtraction of polynomials, so the sign gets reversed. So in this case this becomes negative and this becomes positive. The 2x square and negative 2x square, they cancel out each other, and we are left with minus x plus 4x, which gives us plus 3x. Then what were we doing when we were dividing by 9? We bring down the next number. So here the difference, third point of difference, you don't bring down the next term, you bring down the complete polynomial. So in this case we are only left with plus 3, so that plus 3 also comes down. Now this 3x plus 3 happens to be our new dividend, and we have to divide it by the divisor minus x plus 2. So again we look at the first term of the dividend, which in this case is 3x. We look at the first term of the divisor, which is minus x. Divide 3x by minus x, and you get 3 divided by minus 1 as minus 3, and x is cancelled out, so it's just minus 3. So we write minus 3 in the quotient. Then we have to multiply this quotient minus 3 by the complete divisor. So minus 3 times minus x gives you positive 3x, and minus 3 times 2 gives you minus 6. Then again we go for the subtraction, so this becomes negative and this becomes positive. The 3x and minus 3x, they cancel out each other and we are left with 3 plus 6, which gives us 9. Now this 9 cannot be divided by minus x again because that will give us something rational. We don't want the variable to go in the denominator. So our long division finishes here. And notice the similarity again with long division of numbers. Whatever remainder we had, that was less than the divisor. So here also you have to look at the degree of the remainder. That has to be less than the degree of the divisor. So degree of the divisor, in this case it is minus x, so the degree is 1, and in the remainder there's no x term, there's no variable, so obviously the degree is 0. And since 0 is less than 1, we stop the division here. So we can say that this minus 2x minus 3, that is our quotient, and whatever we are left with at the bottom, 9, that is our remainder. So let's write down all the things. We were already written down what the dividend was and what the divisor was. So now we can write this quotient as minus 2x minus 3 and that the remainder is 9. Okay, so this was the first question and I basically went over it slowly so that you understood the process, and now we are going to go a little fast. I'm not going to write down every step, so we can go a little faster so that we can complete the video in a very quick bit of time. And also before we continue, I also wanted to remind you that if you're liking this video so far, why not just give a thumbs up button to the video? I would really appreciate that. And let's continue. Okay, so the second question that we have is we have to divide 5x cubed minus 13x square plus 21x minus 14 by 3 minus 2x plus x square. So we know that this is the dividend, and if we look at the degrees, it is already in the decreasing order. So we have got x cubed, x square, x, and then the constant term. So we can bring down the dividend as it is, which is 5x cubed minus 13x square plus 21x minus 14. We can write that inside the box, and this is the divisor. And as you can see, the divisor is not arranged in the decreasing orders of the degree of the variable, so we'll have to arrange it likewise. So we'll bring the x square term first, so that happens to be x square, then the x term which happens to be minus 2x, and then the constant term which happens to be plus 3. That we can write outside the box, and then we proceed as we proceeded in the previous question. So again we look at the first term of the dividend, which is 5x cubed. Divide that by the first term of the divisor, which is x squared. So 5x cubed divided by x squared gives us 5x. We can write that in the quotient, and this quotient has to be multiplied by the complete divisor. So 5x times x squared gives us 5x cubed. Write that below the x cubed term. Then 5x times negative 2x gives us minus 10x squared. Write that below the x squared term. And 5x times 3 gives us 15x. So write that below the x term. Then we have to subtract it, so we change the signs. This becomes negative, this becomes positive, this becomes negative. The 5x cube and 5x cube gets cancelled out. Minus 13x square plus 10x square gives us minus 3x square, and 21x minus 15x gives us plus 6x, and we can bring down the minus 14 as it is. So again we have got the new dividend. So minus 3x square again has to be divided by the first term of the divisor, which was x squared. So minus 3x squared divided by x squared gives us minus 3. Minus 3 will come in the quotient. This quotient has to be multiplied by the complete divisor. So minus 3 times x squared gives us minus 3x squared. We write that below the x squared term. Minus 3 times minus 2x gives us plus 6x. We write that below the x term. And minus 3 times 3 gives us minus 9. We write that below the constant term. We again have to subtract this, so we change the signs. This becomes positive, this becomes negative, and this becomes positive again. The 3x squares, they can get cancelled out. The 6x also can get cancelled out. And we are left with minus 14 plus 9, that gives us minus 5. So we can say that this number on the top, 5x minus 3, this expression rather, is the quotient, and whatever we are left with at the bottom, which is minus 5, is the remainder. Alright, so having a lot of fun, aren't we? हिंदी में कहीं मजा आ रहा है ना? बिल्कुल मजा आ रहा है. And just one thing I want from you is to get subscribed to the channel. So click on the subscribe button below the video Make sure you click on the notification bell also, that will make sure that every video is delivered right into your inbox so that you do not miss out on any useful content on this channel. I would really appreciate that. Let's move on to the next question. Okay, so the next question that we have is a little bit different in the sense that the divisor that we have, that is missing a term. So if you look at the question, we have got x to the power 4 plus 2x cubed plus 8x squared plus 12x plus 18, and that has to be divided by x squared plus 5. So as you can see that all the terms are present in the dividend, but in the divisor the x term is missing. We have got x squared, and after that we straight away we have got the constant term. Okay, but here we have to proceed as normal. There's no change, so again I'll go in a hurry. Wherever there is a change, I'll let you know, and keep watching because the change is coming. So we write the dividend first, so that's x to the power 4 plus 2x cubed plus 8x squared plus 12x plus 18, and again writing the divisor also in decreasing order of degree of the variable, we get x squared plus 5. So we look at the first term of the dividend, the first term of the divisor, so x to the power 4 divided by x squared gives us x squared. We write x squared in the quotient and then we multiply that x squared by this complete divisor. So x squared times x squared gives us x to the power 4. We write that below the x to the power 4 term. Then x squared times 5 gives us 5x squared. Now this 5x squared, change number 4, this 5x squared does not have to be written below the x cube term. It has to be written below the x squared term. So we'll write it there. And then we can proceed as usual. So we can change the signs, we subtract it. So this becomes negative, this becomes negative, the x to the power 4 gets cancelled out. We bring down the rest of the polynomial, so 2x cubed comes down as it is, 8x squared minus 5x squared gives us plus 3x squared, and the plus 12x and plus 18, they can come down as it is. So again the new dividend, the first term of the new dividend is 2x cubed. We divide that by x squared to get 2x as the quotient. We write that in the quotient. We multiply this quotient by the complete divisor, so 2x times x squared gives us 2x cubed, and 2x plus 5 gives us 10x. So again this 10x has to be written down below the x term. Then we subtract as usual, the 2x cubes they get cancelled out. We can bring down the rest of the polynomial. So 3x squared comes down as it is, 12x minus 10x, that gives us plus 2x, and the plus 18 can come down as it is. Then again we look at the first term here, 3x squared divided by the first term of the divisor, which is x squared. So 3x squared divided by x squared gives us plus 3. Write that in the quotient, multiply it by the divisor. So plus 3 times x squared gives us 3x squared. Write that below that. And plus 3 times plus 5 gives us plus 15. Write that below the constant term. We subtract, this becomes negative, this becomes negative. The 3x squares they get cancelled out. 2x comes down as it is, and 18 minus 15 gives us plus 3. So again if you look at the first term, 2x, divide that by x square. Again we are going to get a variable in the denominator, so we can't continue further. If you look at the degree of the remainder and the degree of the divisor, we see that the degree of the divisor is 2 and the degree of the remainder is 1, so which is less than the divisor. So we stop here. So this becomes our quotient, and here 2x plus 3, this becomes our remainder. And now we come to the special part of the video, and in this case it's the dividend which is missing a term and not the divisor. So what changes come here, that you have to be careful about. So watch this part very closely. So we have to divide x to the power 4 minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 5. So as you can see, the x cube term is missing in the dividend. So when you're writing the dividend now inside the box, you have to include that x cube term also. So we'll write x to the power 4, and since there is no x cube term, we can assume that it has a coefficient of 0, because 0 times x cube will anyways give us 0. That is why it was not written, but we will include that here. We will write that as 0x cube and write the rest of the polynomial as it is, which is plus 4x plus 5. Again the divisor has to be written in the decreasing order of the degree of the terms. So x squared minus x plus 1. Look at the first term of the dividend, look at the first term of the divisor, and from here on it is division as usual. So x to the power 4 divided by x square gives us x square. Write x square in the quotient, multiply it by the divisor. So x square times x square gives us x to the power 4. X square times minus x gives us minus x cube. We write that below the 0x cube now. And x square plus 1 gives us x square. We write that below the x square term. We subtract as usual. This becomes negative, this becomes positive, this becomes negative. This can get cancelled out. So we have got 0x cube plus x cube, that gives us only x cube. Then minus 3x square minus x square, that gives us minus 4x square. And the other two terms 4x plus 5, they can come down as it is. Again, the first term of the dividend x cube has to be divided by the first term of the divisor x square. So x cube divided by x square gives us x. Write that in the quotient plus x. Multiply it by the divisor. So x times x square gives us x cube. Write that below the x cube term. X times minus x gives us minus x square. Write that below the x square term. And x times 1 gives us x. Write that below the x term. Subtract this, so the signs change. This becomes negative, this becomes positive, this becomes negative. The x cubes can now get cancelled out. Minus 4x square plus x square gives us minus 3x square. Plus 4x minus x gives us plus 3x. And the plus 5 can come down as it is. So again, the first term of the dividend minus 3x square, divide that by the first term of the divisor, which is x square. So minus 3x square divided by x square gives us minus 3. Write that in the quotient, multiply it by the complete divisor. So minus 3 times x square gives us minus 3x square. Minus 3 times minus x gives us plus 3x, and minus 3 times 1 gives us minus 3. Write that below the constant term. The signs change. This becomes positive, this becomes negative, this becomes positive. The x cube terms can now get cancelled out, and even this 3x can get cancelled out, and what we are left with is 5 plus 3, which gives us 8. And again, the degree of the remainder is less than the degree of the divisor, so we have to stop here. And this is our quotient, and this at the bottom gives us the remainder. Okay, so before we finally finish the video, I'll just come back to this division by 9 again. So we saw that this was the quotient and this was the remainder. So we can say that the dividend 26,474 is equal to the divisor, which is 9, multiplied by the quotient, which is 2941, plus the remainder, which is 5. So this 26,474 was our dividend, 9 is the divisor, quotient is 2941, and 5 is the remainder. So basically it becomes dividend is equal to divisor times the quotient plus the remainder. This in short is called the division algorithm, and the division algorithm works for polynomials as well. And if you want to see why it works or how it works, just watch this video on the left. Also, do not forget to click on my picture here so that you get full access to all the videos that are there on this channel. And do not forget to watch this video recommended by YouTube. I'll catch you in one of these videos. Until then, take care. God bless.